Hi, babies. When we are able to own our desires, the veil is taken away and we are face to face with the Lord. And there is a verse from my first steps of faith that comes to me. And I mean, these are just anchors and bedrocks of my faith and salvation that have been sewn into my constructs from the very start. Proverbs chapter 19, verse 22. What has any man desired but unfaithful love? And then it goes on and says, better to be destitute than to be a liar. In other words, the value on authenticity. There's value on authenticity spoken there, that when we are able to just bear all to God, that when we truly embrace that intimacy and transparency, that's to be valued more than earthly riches. And so that's my value system. And now here we are, so many years later, and that verse is still resounding in my heart. And the key theme here is the face of the Lord. That when we have the determination, we were purposed to look up, not in sin consciousness, not in the awareness of our shortcomings and faults, which the enemy, Satan, through the law, exacerbates our human condition through, so that we want to run and hide. That regardless of what estate we've fallen in humanity, regardless of how we're wired, regardless of what our desires are, God would that we just be honest and invite him in to the outworking of our humanity to walk with us, not for us to establish a perfection before we take our first step. And just looking up and being persuaded that we have the liberty to face God, to be face to face with God. And this kind of segues into another one of my proof texts for eternal damnation. I'm wrestling. I'm grappling with some of the verses and some of the texts right now that are being thrown out and thrown on the table just to refute divine love and the reconciliation of all things and the acceptance of humanity in Christ. And the face of the Lord is a pivotal consideration in this contemplation, because Revelation 14, I mean, it talks about that they desired for the mountains and the rocks to fall down upon them so that they don't have to look at the face of the Lamb. It's like the face of the Lamb is revealed, and there are rulers on earth that are embedded and prosper from the current world system, and they can't bear the authenticity. They can't bear the transparency. They can't bear the face of the Lamb, because when authenticity unfolds, it brings light. And it's like when there are lies and we're not really being ourselves, and when we prosper and make a way for our lives egoically, where we are just constantly relying on jumping through the hoops and performing, and we've skewed or obscured our identity because of what we do, the hoops we jump through, our rituals, our aspirations, I mean, that can all become a false identity, an ego. And when the gospel is preached in the face of the Lamb, in the face of God, is unveiled, it's like what our true desires, what our true motivations, who we really are, comes to light. And this is the case for the Apostle Paul in his letter to the Thessalonians, because when the Apostle Paul wrote to the church of Thessalonica, he was addressing situations with them where, you know, these believers were under tremendous persecution, and so there were those rulers of this world that didn't like the disruptions.